Alright, my daddy used to hang around some pretty sketchy characters. My dad was into all sorts of stuff. Anyway, back years ago when I was high school or so, right in there, my dad was into fighting roosters. I mean, they had them from little bitty roosters to one looked like a cotton-picking turkey standing out there all swelled up. Anyway, I can't remember his name. They had one rooster named Michael Jackson. And I said, why you call him Michael Jackson? Said they put them boxing gloves on to train them. Said that little rooster jump up and hit the other one. And said when he hit the ground, he'd moonwalk backwards like that. Well, anyway, they was there one Sunday, and they was training them. And what they done is Daddy and Mullinax, that was his buddy that was in partners with him, they take turns. One would stand at the end of this bench, and one stand on the side of the bench, and one on the end would throw the rooster. The rooster would do that, and he'd build up his wings. When the rooster landed on the other end, the other person grabbed him and pushed him back up through there and make the rooster try to resist them, and they'd build up his leg muscles. Well, on this particular Sunday morning, they in there working, car pulls up. It was two of my daddy's buddies. At one, they called him Nut. I don't know his last name, but anyway, they called him Nut. And the other one's name was Gone. G-O-N-E, Gone Smart. I thought it used to be Gone, like G-O-N-G, Gone, but no, it Gone. G-O-N-E, Smart, Gone Smart. That was his name. Gone, Nut got out of the car, he was fine. Boogity boog boog up across the yard he come. Gone got out. My daddy said it looked like he had the brakes beat off of him. Said his eyes was beat shut, swelled up, black, his nose is broke. Said he's just barely moving, walking up across the yard. I thought, golly, what got a hold of him? So he gets in the building there. Daddy looked at him and said, Gone? Who in the world done whooped you? He said, you won't believe me if I tell you. Said, you gonna make fun of me. Daddy said, I promise. Said, no, who whooped him? Said, he right, Coosey. That's what they call my daddy, Coosey. Said, are you right, Coosey? Said, you gonna laugh at him? Said, all right, who whooped you? I promise I won't laugh. Gone looked around. He said, Nikita Kolloff whooped me. My daddy died of laughing. For the ones y'all don't know, Nikita Kolloff used to be one of the baddest wrestlers around. One of the three Russians, the terrors. Well, anyway, what happened? They said, tell us the story how Nikita Kolloff whooped you. So the deal was, Gone and Nut were sitting around on Saturday morning, about dinner times when the wrestling always come on Channel 3. This was before satellite and all this. It come on Channel 3. And they watching it. And they start advertising. Now, this is right around July the 4th now. The Great American Bash. The Great American Bash. Ric Flair versus Nikita Kolloff for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Well, Gone and Nut had done been drinking a little bit, and then they decided they gonna go buy them some tickets. So away to Charlotte they went, to Memorial Stadium. And they get there. Well, here come the main event. Flair comes down, goes in the ring, Nikita's in the ring. The match starts. Gone said everything was going good till about that time. Them other two Russians jumped in there. They knocked the referee out. Gone said, so me and about 60 of these other spectators decided we gonna go in and we gonna help Flair out. Now, to give you an idea about Gone, just how he was, imagine a man about 5'3", 110 pounds, and that's with 10 pounds of rocks in his pocket. He ain't as big as a broom handle. He said, I go down there and I go under that bottom rope. Said, I run around that ring. Said, I didn't want Crusher Khrushchev. I didn't want Ivan Kolloff. Said, I wanted Nikita. Said, and about that time, I turned around and there he stood. Said, I went up there and I tapped him on the shoulder. Said, and I turned around. Said, I loaded up with everything I had. Said, when that big joker turned around, said, I swung. Said, cook, I swung so hard that my feet was that high off the mat. He said, you know, that son gun's bigger in person than he is on TV. They said, what do you mean? He said, as I swung, he caught my fist and said, I went, oh, God, and said, before I could get to my knife, said, that son gun done beat the fool out of me. Said, he's pummeling me. And said, finally, he throws me a time or two against the ropes and said, he threw me over the rope. Said that I'm in midair when I got my pocket knife out. And I landed 7 rows back out in the seats. Daddy said he had tears coming down his face and laughing. Said he looked over there and he said, Nut, said, where was you at when all this was going on? Why was you not helping him? He said, well, said, I had a hold of the bottom rope and the police had me by the ankles and they would pull me and the rope would jerk me back and they'd pull me and said they was trying to get me, said they was going to arrest me. Said, so finally I just held on for dear life and they turned me loose. Daddy said he was sitting there, said he finally got his composure. He said, Gone, did you learn anything from this escapade? He said, yep, yeah, I did. I said, what'd you learn? He said, I'm going to go under the rope with my knife out next time. Said, I'll cut that big son of a gun's arm off. Said, he won't beat me like that again. Well, Daddy told me that story, and I thought there is no way in the world that could be true. But it just so happens, it turns out that a friend of mine has on VHS tape the very first Great American Bash. And sure enough, you see the Russians go in there, they're beating the fool out of Flair. And then you see the spectators go in there, and about one of the first ones, you see get thrown out. Like a pop fly is gone. And there's Nut. You see the cops doing that, trying to pull him out of the ring. So, word of advice, if you ain't at least 200 pounds, don't go dive in the ring and try to jump on a wrestler. They will beat the brakes off of you because once you go in that ring, you're fair game. They can beat the fool out of you. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up and a like. Thank you.